What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch, joined by Dilly Vanilli, and we're here to talk about whatever we want to here on NFL pregame live chat and preview for week number 4 of the 2017 season. And this is mostly meant for you guys to come in here live and talk with us right before your fantasy football teams get on air or your real life teams, what we think about the games, who we're picking this week, who should be in your fantasy lineup, who you should be betting on. If you guys haven't already seen the preview or the game picks or the fantasy start 'em, sit 'em, this is your chance to come here while we're live and kind of ask those questions. If you missed them, didn't have time to watch them, or maybe you know, whatever, right? So You're here, we're here, and we're just giving our own preview for the week, right? Like NFL Sunday morning would. So let us know in the chat. Dilly.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking forward to in week number 4, bro?
What I'm looking forward to in week number 4, I'm looking for some good matchups. The Vikings-Lions game is going to be lit. I'm just putting that out there. There'll be some interesting divisional matchups this week. Raiders-Broncos is a big game in Denver. Steelers-Ravens could shock some people and the perception of both teams. Titans-Texans is probably going to decide the division right now, who's going to be leading that division. So there's some pretty good matchups in the division-wise. And then outside of that, I want to see some teams that are struggling right now prosper. You have some better records here. The Giants and the Buccaneers are playing. One team's 0-3 and garbage, and one team is 1-1. Colts-Seahawks will be one of the worst games in Sunday Night Football history, but I'm looking forward to some of these good matchups, see how some teams stand out, and maybe we can get some better football than we did week 3.
Yeah, week 3 was kind of a weird week. We didn't know who was going to win, what was going on, who was scoring your fantasy points. It was kind of a really weird week, and a lot of people across the board, that are considered experts on NFL, got a lot of picks wrong. So
a lot.
That was a very, very difficult week. One of the most difficult weeks I've ever seen in my life. We do have a couple people in the chat. Ryan's in there. He says, Hightower's back in capital letters. He says, Crabtree is out. Yeah, I'll talk about Hightower in a minute. Saints versus Dolphins is at 13-0. Yeah, we should talk about that game right after I tell you which games I'm excited for. Bodo says, is this Elliott's last game?
No. I think it's going to keep going for the rest of the season.
I think we would have heard about more information by now if this was his last game. I feel like it would kind of be there would be an actual storyline going into the game. Oh my God, is this Elliott's last game?
Yeah, there'd be preparation.
This is the first I've heard about it from Bodo on YouTube.
Yeah. Right? Not this week. I think it's going to go for the rest of the season. And Kevin's about to run in, by the way. So.
Okay. So for me, the games that I'm most excited for, I like your take, the teams that are struggling, because I think at least this is my prediction this week. My bold prediction is that at least one, if not both, of the Giants and Chargers are going to win. I have them both winning this week. So I'll say that both these teams win. They're both 0-3, and they're both teams that I picked to go to the playoffs, which that sucks. But hey, the rest of the teams are doing good. Okay, but those two teams, they're sucking bad. Well, the Chargers, not as much as the Giants. The Chargers should be 2-1, but they're not. So yeah, the Chargers and Giants, they're both gonna win this week. That's my big bold prediction for this week. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, as a Patriots fan, every single week as this goes on, I'm worried about the defense because it looks like dog shit. So I'm continuing to hope for better things. And with Dante Hightower back, he's by far the best player on the defense, and he'll definitely help, especially in a front seven where they don't have a lot of depth. So he'll definitely help. What else am I looking forward to? I'm definitely looking forward to the Broncos-Raiders game. I think that's going to be a good game, but I'm more expecting I'm looking forward to it more for the reasons to see if Oakland can prove me wrong. Because I think Denver's going to win this game, and I actually think they're going to win this game kind of easily. I don't think it's going to be that close. So I want to see if, and without Michael Crabtree, that doesn't help, obviously. But I'm sort of hoping in a weird way, even though I picked Denver and I bet on Denver already, that the Raiders kind of prove me wrong because I like the Raiders. What else am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to Monday night to see what's going to happen with Washington and Kansas City. I think that's going to be a really good game. Looking forward to see if Seattle can get their head out of their ass. Oh, hey, Kev.
Oh, it was that. Yeah, that was well timed. Well timed. Well timed.
They will, because they'll be playing one of the worst teams in football. So you're good. You're good.
Even it's not guaranteed.
Kev, you run in every week. What are you looking forward to tonight or today?
I think the best game of the week will be the Lions and Vikings.
Okay, yeah, I'm Gary.
I think
it's always good to bet on the Lions for having the best game of the week.
Yeah, they're always the more interesting one. Crabtree is out versus Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there. Let's see. What else am I looking forward to? I'm always looking forward to the Seahawks game because I enjoy watching the Seahawks, and I wouldn't bet on this game. Intrigued by the Giants. And
I actually bet on the Colts.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
What? Oh.
I saw that. I wouldn't have touched the game.
They're plus 13, bro. Like, my thing is with the Seahawks is I just don't know how many points they can score. Like, even against the Colts, they're going to have to get, like, pick sixes or something to, like, cover that to me. I don't know.
But I don't know what way you go with the Seahawks. Can they win by 13? Can they not? I don't know. I wouldn't
touch that game either. Yeah.
Alvin Kamara is lighting it up right
now. Jay Cutler is awful. Just like to thank him.
If for some reason, like, okay, I cut Kev off there, but we'll get back to what he's looking forward to. But let's talk about this Saints-Dolphins game real quick. So the Saints are winning right now 20-0. Alvin Kamara, there has been only 4 carries for 4 yards for Adrian Peterson. They're phasing him out every single week. And I've been saying this. Before the season, I said Adrian Peterson's not going to be a big impact on this offense. He's only going to be there for short yardage. And right now, like, they basically phase him out of the offense because with him in there, he's no longer the best pure runner in football. So there's no point of having him in there because when he's in there to run the ball. Yeah. And everyone knows he's in there to run the ball. So when you have Mark Ingram, who can catch and can run, he's kind of that balanced running back. And then Alvin Kamara can also do those things, but in kind of a different fashion and provide a little bit more quickness and catching ability. This guy has 10 catches, 71 yards, a touchdown, and then also 25 yards. So if you don't have this guy on your fantasy team, which I'm lucky enough to have him on my team, and if he's out there still for some weird reason, please pick him up. I've told you numerous weeks to because he's very talented. But it seems like the more Peterson is phased out of the offense, the better it is for Ingram and for Kamara on your fantasy team and for the Saints in real life football because they play better with them in there. They didn't have Willie Snead in this game, actually, so he didn't play. He was hurt for some reason, a hamstring or something, or maybe they're just making an excuse so that he wasn't ready. I don't know. But yeah, so the Saints are up 20-0. Miami looks terrible. My dad sent me a text saying that Patriots could go 8-8 and win the division. Well, the Bills are there, and the Bills are pretty good. I would say that. So, yeah. Dolphins suck.
I don't think the Patriots can go 8-8. I don't know if it's actually possible. If the Patriots actually can.
No, I mean, not saying that they're going to go 8-8, but they could go 8-8.
No, they won't go 8-8.
No, the worst they'll go is 11-5. The worst.
I think Buffalo can compete with them.
I think like that Buffalo game will be interesting. There's been times, usually the Patriots dominate, but like there's been times where it's been close. I mean, but this team with the defense they have and stuff, they could do some damage. I don't know, but I'm surprised that the Bills. Just talking on the Bills, they're doing so well so far this season. They have a huge test today against Atlanta. That's going to be interesting. Because their defense is doing really well. McDermott's coaching them up. I'm not extremely surprised by their defense because I thought McDermott would come in there and kind of make it better. But he's playing a sort of defense that's totally different from what he usually does. Like he's playing more man and man press and blitzing a lot. And when you watch the Panthers, when he used to be on the Panthers, they were like zone heavy and kind of like conservative, and they would just rely on their linebackers to tackle. but they're playing a lot different, but it's working for them. The only thing with their offense is they don't have any weapons at receiver, so that definitely hurts them. But I think they're going to be a team that if they keep this trend going, they're going to be a really good team. And I think the next few years, actually, I think they could shape up to be something. I don't think it's going to be this year, but I think with the regime they have going, it could be a good team in the next couple of years.
Yeah, they are building something. I dropped the Bills defense against. Should I start the Bills defense versus Atlanta or the Steelers defense versus the Ravens?
I would go Steelers.
Okay,
I would also go Steelers. Kev, I got a question here for you.
I got a couple of one other games I'm interested in. I think that Giants-Bucks game may not be the greatest game in the world.
We've been talking about the Giants and the Chargers.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting because these are two teams that I think really need to win this week. The Giants, for obvious reasons, they're going to end up 0-4 if they don't. The Buccaneers, because they seem to be fading fast in power rankings.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, so I think Winston needs to have a good game. That Bills-Falcons game will be a good game, though. I don't know. Yes, I wouldn't start on defense, but I think the Bills-Falcons will be an interesting game.
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
Kev, I got a question here for you. Yeah, you uploaded a video yesterday. You had the should the Seattle Seahawks trade Jimmy Graham? And I wanted to read you a comment here. I want to get your thoughts on this because you've been able to do the comments here. This is from your boy Kevner. I don't know how you say it. Kevnar. He's a Seahawks fan that's on the channel frequently. He says, and I quote, "Y'all, I love watching y'all's videos, and they're good, but can y'all please get off the Seahawks dick? They're just 1-2, and the season just started. Y'all act like we're 1-15. Calm down. It's just our offensive line. Jimmy Graham is fine." What is your response to this?
The thing that he doesn't understand is you're a Seahawks fan. Does he not understand that?
Yeah,
Kev is the Seahawks fan. He is the one that should be the most concerned out of any of us. What do you think about this, Kev?
I think that it's an NFL story that the Seahawks are 1-2. First of all, I'm not saying that they're 1-15. I'm not saying that you have to be super concerned or not. But Kevnar, what has Jimmy Graham really done to improve the Seattle Seahawks? Like when that trade happened,
March 10th, I could argue that he's had a negative impact on their team.
Yeah,
because what was the trade again? Wasn't it like a first and a center?
It was a first-round draft pick and Max Unger.
Okay, so you traded your best lineman.
Yeah, and you
traded a first-round pick,
which turned out to be a linebacker.
You got well, it could have been anything. It depends who they pick, right?
Right.
Jimmy Graham has come in and put up mediocre stats. He's been injured, and then you look at his actual impact on the offense. And what were the Seahawks previous to Jimmy Graham? They were a running smash mouth kind of offense, right? Jimmy Graham's not a blocking tight end, so he doesn't really suit what they tried to do previous to that. So I don't know. Like maybe he's added another weapon for Russell Wilson to throw to, and there's been moments of that, but there hasn't been enough moments of like spectacular play and like spectacular use of his talent where it's been off the chart successful. Like for me, I could argue that it's been negative. Like you lost first round pick, you lost your best lineman, and you brought a guy in that it doesn't fit your offensive identity.
Yeah, you haven't. Yeah, you haven't. Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I also think that this is partly on Bevel because he hasn't used the guy correctly in any way, shape, or form. Like he's tried. I think he's tried to shove him into his own system, and instead of allowing Jimmy Graham to be Jimmy Graham. And if Jimmy Graham was traded, I would argue he would be used the way that New Orleans used him, and he would actually prosper. It would be beneficial for Graham to trade Graham, but if I was the Seahawks, I would wait.
What would you be looking for if you traded Jimmy Graham?
I would guess you would get a second-round pick at highest.
Yeah, I was going to guess a third-round pick. That was
an offensive lineman. And like if it was a position I would be looking for, I would actually look at offensive lineman, linebacker, and running back. Because I don't think I mean, Yeah, I think those are the three positions you need to fix.
Bro, Eddie Lacy, he's tearing it up on the bench. He's eating those burgers, those cheese burgers.
He's eating those burgers. Luke Jokel and Eddie Lacy, Kevnar, would have cost as much as Andrew Whitworth. And look where the Rams are.
I just want to bring this up. This man
go ahead.
This man got paid $550,000 for every time he made under the weight limit that he was supposed to be because the fat ass couldn't keep himself in shape. And he did this twice, and then now he's not doing shit on the field. I hate that. But
okay, I want to say this because I think this week is a huge turning point for the NFC West. Because if the Rams somehow beat the Cowboys,
nope,
I picked them to win.
Nope,
Kev picked them to win, and the Seahawks win, but it's not impressive. Are you starting to worry that the Rams are going to be better than the Seahawks, Kev?
I already said the Rams are better than the Seahawks right now. I would argue.
No, I mean like at the end of the season.
No, because I think the ceiling for the Seahawks have a better chance of recovery and adjusting than the Rams do going forward because of that veteran experience and stuff. So no, not this week. If you ask me this question in week 12 or week 9, that's a different story. But week 5, it's a bit too early to say that the Seahawks would lose the division if they don't win in impressive fashion. Because
Rams ain't winning. Rams ain't winning.
No. I am Rams are winning.
Yeah, this is why you're also last in our picks.
Hey,
let's go over some comments real quick.
Anybody's race this year. I mean, this week is gonna be the craziest week for predictions.
Okay, so Bodo says, I hate London games. They mess up my picks and fantasy football.
True.
Yeah, I had Jay at Jai, so that's all I'm going to say.
I'd like to congratulate Adam on having an early advantage because I did not sit Mark Ingram for Sterling Shepard, so good job, Adam.
Lucky.
I do think Anthony picked the Dolphins, didn't he?
He did. He was the only one to pick the Dolphins this week.
Okay, cool. So we're up on him.
Yeah.
Thao says, who should I start, Beast Mode or Jamal Charles? You have to go with Beast Mode. Even though he's playing the Broncos, he's the starting running back, and he's going to get all the carries. And if they are going to score a touchdown, he should be able to run it in. Jamal Charles is a backup. So Predator says, hey, fellas, what's going on, Predator? Bodo says, Giants aren't going to win.
I don't have them winning.
I do. I have my bold prediction this week, Kev, is that the Chargers and Giants finally both win.
I'll give you the Chargers. I will not give you the Giants.
I'll give you the Giants. I won't give you the Chargers.
Whoa.
Bodo says, why worry about the D, Mitch? Your division sucks. Well, because I don't know if you know me, but I'm a Patriots fan, and if the Patriots don't win the Super Bowl, it's considered failure. So the way our defense is playing right now, we're not winning the freaking Super Bowl. So, yeah, Hightower's back today. Hopefully it helps. Bodo says, why would anyone enjoy the mess in Seattle, Kevo? I don't enjoy the mess in Pittsburgh.
It's awful.
Those are two. Yeah, I got to do a Steeler video soon on the mess over there.
Roethlisberger rent.
Okay, and this is a question right here. Ivan says, when are the Steelers going to break out? Okay. What did I say at the end of last year about the Steelers? It was about one in particular player that Kevo loves.
Ben?
Oh, Big Ben.
Yes. Okay, what was I saying about Ben last year?
The quality of play.
Okay, why is their offense bad? They have Antonio Brown. They have Le'Veon Bell. They have a pretty good offensive line. It's that their quarterback is already retired. He's just playing still. He literally talked about retiring in the offseason, and he's still playing. When you talk about retiring, you're retired. He's not good anymore. Okay? He wasn't great at the end of last season. He's not good now. All he does is throw deep to Antonio Brown. I could do that.
I love the tweet that AC put in the chat last week. The class of 03 is obviously 1 year older than the class of or 2 years older than the class of
05 and 04, isn't it? Not 03.
Oh yeah, sorry, 04 and 05. But the class of 04 feels like they're 10 years older than the class of 05. Because Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers are playing good football, great football almost, And then you have Eli Manning, who's garbage, Ben Roethlisberger, who can't move for shit, and Phillip Rivers, who is good, is the best of the three right now, but also threw for 4 interceptions last week. So I don't know.
Chauncey says, "Brother Nero, I knew you'd come."
I haven't seen that man in 40 years. What's up, Chauncey?
Bodo says if there's 12 feet of snow in Buffalo, the Bills might have a chance, unless the Pats find ex-con to plow the snow for the game-winning field goal. Hey, we do what we have to win, bro. Mr. Mike says prime time, baby. Go Hawks.
Ugh.
Against the freaking Colts.
This is gonna be the worst.
I'd rather watch the Cardinals Seahawks 6-3 game.
That was lit.
That was incredible. That game was come on.
It was a terrible game and had a good fourth quarter.
It had an amazing overtime though.
Yeah, because I had to watch that game. I had to recap that game. You can go check it out.
Mr. Mike says he's blaming it all on the offensive line. The offensive line is not playing well, and it's affecting our defense.
Mm-hmm.
They're not cohesive. I'll give you that. But you sure can run the ball on Seattle. And I don't know.
The teams so far have the Titans, 49ers. Keep in mind those are good running teams, but
Carl said.
Coach
convert
says
third downs on Seahawks, by the way. That's an interesting point.
Interesting. Cutler is terrible, says Coach. Miami should have went after Romo. I say no because Romo is doing well as a commentator, so no.
Oh, yes. That is
Romo is doing very well. I think that's one of the biggest surprises of the season. The commentary of Tony Romo.
I need him to call a Cowboys game. I need to figure out when he calls the first Cowboys game. It would be lit.
Mr. Mike says about Jimmy Graham, if we can improve the O-line, I say trade him.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you get a top flight one.
Kill'em Boy says, who y'all got, Falcons or Bills? I got the Bills on this one, still in front of the AFC East.
Falcons. I think the Bills played good last week, but not 100% sure and confident to pick them over a 3-0.
If this game was in Buffalo, I would consider picking the Bills, but since it's in Atlanta, I think that's all the difference, and there's no weather effects. It's in the dome, and I don't think they have the offense to keep up in the game, so I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Yep.
Wilson doesn't throw to the tight end, says Bodo.
He threw a lot to Graham and Wilson last week.
Yeah, but he's only got 11
Mr. Mike
receptions.
says we got running backs. Carson and Procise are good.
Procise is hurt all the time. He's going to be hurt again.
That is true.
Procise is
Mr. Mike says, I think the Rams will beat the Cowboys.
Who said that?
Sam Watkins, 100 yards.
But Mr. Wright, we gonna have to talk. We gonna have to talk.
Kill'em Boy says Saints defense is better than the Pats.
No.
Right now it is. Just got a shutout.
That's okay. It's the London effect. Everything that's not supposed to happen happens in London. Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
Giants 1-15 or 0-16, which sounds better. That's not going to happen.
They'll win at least 6 games. I'm just gonna say that right now, even as a Cowboys fan.
Kill'em Boy says Chargers about to go 0-5 and win 11 straight games.
No,
if they do that means they're probably going to go to the Super Bowl.
No, there's been one team to go 0-3 and then make it to the playoffs. That's the 1992 San Diego Chargers. And
oh shit!
But there was 0-3, by the way. And then they won one postseason game, and that was it. So no team has ever made it to the playoffs 0-4, ever.
What else we got? We got a lot of questions. I think the Colts have potential. Bengals or Browns? I think we're all going with the Bengals. Just more talented team.
Anthony went with the Browns this week, so it could be
interesting.
Could be another game up on him. But yeah, I got Bengals. I got Kevil's question here. Thompson, Hogan, or Matthews as a flex?
What type of league?
Yeah.
Standard.
I would go Thompson.
I don't know.
As a flex, I would go Thompson. Hogan is second.
Who's the rest of your team? This is a tough question. Hogan scored a lot of touchdowns this year, so this is a tough question.
I did pick him up in fantasy last week, so that is true.
He has 3 touchdowns.
He is starting in my other league over Jermaine Kearse. I picked up.
And like Thompson, the thing with him is he doesn't get a lot of touches, so you're kind of like banking on the fact that he gets like a lot of yards in those touches. But he's playing really good, so I guess you kind of got to start Thompson.
How is Hogan? Oh, Hogan's projected 9.2. Okay, I'm looking at my other league because I was like, man, I'm picking up Jermaine Kearse, and then 2 days later I go on free agency and Hogan's there. I'm like,
yeah, I guess I go with Thompson, but I would be deciding between him and Hogan for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any fantasy questions we got, Kev?
Oh yes. What's the strategy now with tight ends being terrible? What's your strategy with tight ends?
Well, first off, if you can trade for Gronk, do it. That's the first thing. Or Zach Ertz or Kelsey.
Those are the only 3 tight ends that are worth
only 3 tight ends that are worth.
By the way, I gotta just as we continue here, I gotta tell you the trade offer that I had in my league, not in the BLV league. This one was probably one of the worst trade offers I have ever seen.
Yeah.
He offered me Isaiah Crowell
Awful.
for Christian McCaffrey.
That's the dumbest trade I've ever seen.
Isaiah.
Crowell could probably run in my high school football league, my old high school team, but he can't run in the NFL. I'm sorry. Terrible.
Let me look up how tight ends are doing this year. I just want to see like who's in first and second. I don't even know. So
Bro, Jason Witten might be in the top 5, and that shows you something because he hasn't done anything. I mean,
and I have Witten, and I mean, it seems like the strategy now might be to stream tight ends.
Oh yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah,
it is for sure. There's no question. If you don't have one of those guys I mentioned, you're probably better off. Or there's other guys like Kyle Rudolph, maybe Jimmy Graham. Like there's a couple more guys where you can start them just because like there's a higher chance of them scoring or doing something. But like tight end position this year is like the worst I've seen in so long.
So like in the other league that I'm in, not BLV, I've got Gronk, but in the BLV league, I've got Martellus Bennett, and thank God.
Delaney Walker's pretty good, but like there's guys like Charles Clay that like in this league that I'm looking at right now is 5th in tight end points, and he's still out there in a lot of leagues. He scores touchdowns. He's the #1 option in the Buffalo offense. Like that's a guy you could pick up. Evan Ingram is in there. Jesse James is in there. Kobe Fleener, Jared Cook. Mercedes Lewis, Zach Miller, Benjamin Watson,
oh my God,
Hooper, Doyle. Like, look at all these guys. Like, how many of these guys are actually owned?
Yeah, Mercedes Lewis is still available. Yeah,
I thought this.
Even in this league, Witten is not owned.
Witten's and he's 3rd in my league for fantasy points.
3rd, yeah. So in this league here that I'm looking at, he's 3rd, and he's not even owned.
Witten, yeah, I own Witten. Lewis is 4th. Yeah, sorry, Lewis is 4th, and he's not owned.
I just need my bottom line view team to do good.
Why am I 0-3 in this freaking league?
I don't understand that.
I don't understand that. Yeah,
I'm getting echo.
No, that's what happens, man. Sometimes you get a lot of points and then you just don't win games. It happens.
And you know what sucks? I had to go pick up 2 different kickers because Cairo Santos went on the IR and Nick Novak got released. So I had to go pick Kay Forbath of Minnesota, which thank God we have some kickers in our league because if one player goes down on your team, you're fucked. Honestly.
Yeah.
Kill him, boys. Says Cam Newton's gonna have 400 yards
if he can throw the damn football.
He can throw it past 10 yards.
I will say this. I will agree on one thing. He will have walked probably at least 400 yards to the stadium, like from the hotel to the bus, to the game, and maybe going for a walk. You have a coffee before the game. It is legitimate. Yes, 400 yards. Yes,
before the game
of walking. Before the game.
Dolphins are having a home opener next Sunday. They have scored 6 points in the last 2 weeks. So
Adam Gase was talking about how great their offense was. He was saying how bad they were last week. So I think that had an impact. Me and AC were talking about it. I think AC actually bet on the Saints in this game. So good for him.
Good for him.
Yes. No. Yeah, he did stuck with the Saints.
Yeah. Good call by AC. We all picked them to win. I just didn't feel confident enough when their defense, but
except for Anthony.
I was like blowout, man. I was like the one that said blowout.
For the Saints?
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? Let's do some starts and sits or like
this
guy versus that guy.
Okay.
And then we'll get out of here.
Okay, one quick question before we do that. Now that we're in flex weeks here soon, I think it's next week, right?
Next week will be bye weeks and all that. Yeah.
So what's your strategy with flex weeks?
So at the bye week, it's basically just I don't know, like just pick up a guy to play. Like I don't really have a strategy for it. Usually I just go about it and pick up the best guy I can. Like if you have guys on your bench, play them. Like it depends. I don't know. Like what do you mean by strategy?
Like in terms of like
my strategy, here's my strategy. Make sure you know every team that's going to be on your bench. You know, obviously look at the next week.
Obviously look ahead like today, or like if you've already looked ahead like this week. Like I've looked ahead in some leagues, just ahead to next week to see who's has a bye, who doesn't, and then you can look at the waiver wire, because obviously you don't know really until Tuesday for the waiver wire, because some guys could get hurt and that thrust other guys into roles, or some guys look good and they get an advanced role. So like usually you don't know on like a Sunday, because you have to wait till like till a Monday or a Tuesday to see who you're going to pick up. But yeah, if the guy is droppable though on the bye week, you could drop him. Like I do that. Like definitely like a kicker, never keep a kicker, drop a kicker, never keep a defense, drop the defense. Like tight ends, you probably could drop.
You get a guy like a Matt Bryan, or a guy that's a top scoring kicker.
It depends who the rest of your team is like. If like you have a great bench and you don't want to lose anyone, like if you have like your worst player on your bench is now like Alvin Kamara, like no, you're not going to drop Alvin Kamara, right?
Yeah. So next week the buys are Jacksonville, Kansas City, New Orleans, and Seattle. So if you got a bunch of players in Kansas City, you know, on your roster, obviously go find a good bet, you know, a couple people to start for them, or Alex Smith is your player, Kareem Hunt. You'll probably only have four players in the defense, right?
So you probably have maybe Alex Smith,
Kareem Hunt.
You have Kareem Hunt, Tariq Hill, and Travis Kelce, and then probably the defense.
So if you have a lot of people on there, you know, go check something out. Just make sure you get everything in check. That's what I always want to do. And, you know, have a good starting offense, but also have a really good bench in case you need them. So that's the key.
Okay. Yeah, let's do some quick start sits.
Okay, let's just quickly go through the list here. Let's start at QB. My computer's a little slow. Oh, there we go. We've got I'm starting Prescott over Smith, which is my let's look at another one here.
Eventually.
Jared Goff or Marcus Mariota?
Titans are playing the Texans.
Mariota.
I would actually go with Goff, just because I can't trust our defense.
I would go Mariota.
Okay. Ooh,
he's been playing too well to sit in.
Okay. Kirk Cousins or Tyrod Taylor?
Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins.
Okay. Let's go through the running backs here. Sorry, it's slow. You think of anyone that when I'm doing that, that's cool. Let's see here. We've got
if I could pull up my starts and sets, I'll do that.
Terrence West or Lamar Miller?
Lamar Miller. I actually heard Terrence West is going to be losing some snaps to somebody, one of their other running backs.
No, Allen, yeah. Chris Carson or Buck Allen?
Buck Allen.
I would go Chris Carson.
Okay. We'll go through the wide receivers here. There we go. Whee! This is some good YouTube videoing.
Yes.
We are live.
We're live, folks.
I could go through my start and sits if you want.
I'll do one more here, and then you can do some starts. AJ Green or Larry Fitzgerald?
Larry. Larry.
AJ Green.
Bruh. I mean, it is the Browns defense, but Cardinals are playing the 49ers. Come on now.
I think Mitch and I both have the 49ers winning that game.
Yes, you do. I think actually who...
Oh, they're both great sits. I don't know why you would be sitting either of them, to be honest.
49ers. Everybody picked the 49ers except for me and AC. So.
Okay, let's go through my start sits.
Yeah.
Okay. So my quarterback starts this week. I have Trevor Siemian versus Oakland.
Yes.
Russell Wilson versus the Colts. Phillip Rivers versus the Eagles. Dak Prescott versus the Rams. Kirk Cousins versus Kansas City. And then also Jared Goff versus Dallas. My sits, I have Ben Roethlisberger versus Baltimore. Derek Carr versus Denver. Jameis Winston versus the Giants. Alex Smith versus Washington. And Cam Newton versus New England. Just can't trust that guy. Running back starts.
He's over. He's over.
Joe Mixon versus Cleveland. Christian McCaffrey versus New England. Buck Allen versus Pittsburgh. And Chris Carson versus the Colts.
Wow.
My sits for running back, I have Marshawn Lynch versus Denver. Lamar Miller versus Tennessee. Theo Riddick versus Minnesota. Frank Gore versus Seattle. And Jay Stu versus New England. Wide receiver starts. It's the slot receiver special this week. That's what I was calling it. Adam Thielen versus Detroit.
Yes.
Willie Snead doesn't count anymore because he didn't play. Golden Tate versus Minnesota. Sterling Shepard versus Tampa Bay. Wide receiver sits. I have Deshaun Jackson versus the Giants. Mari Cooper versus Denver. T.Y. Hilton versus Seattle. Pierre Garçon versus Arizona. And Martavis Bryant versus Baltimore. My tight end starts. I do have Jimmy Graham versus the Colts. Charles Clay versus Atlanta. Austin Severian Jenkins, if you're in real deep need, versus Jacksonville. Cam Brate versus the Giants. And Ryan Griffin versus Tennessee. My tight end sits are the Chargers tight ends versus the Eagles and Jack Doyle versus Seattle.
One more quick question for me. Allen or Hogan, who would you start?
Buck Allen?
Yeah, Keenan Allen.
Hogan.
Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen.
Travis Benjamin's taking his receptions. Another
Keenan Allen.
I just looked at the inactives for the Cowboys. Fucking hell.
Sean Lee is inactive.
Sean Lee, Anthony Hitchens, Chidobe.
Go Rams!
And Nolan Carroll. Fuck the Rams. Cowboys. We're still gonna win. We're still gonna win. Next week though, we need to have like all those guys except Nolan Carroll back because Nolan Carroll was garbage.
Who do you guys play?
Packers.
Ooh, shit.
I don't want our secondary playing fucking Aaron Rodgers, but yeah.
Any other questions in the chat before we go, just in case?
Let's see here. It's loading. No.
Okay.
We did not.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us here on the Week 4 2017 pregame live chat for NFL Sunday AM from the Bottom Line View. It's been Mitch, Dilly, and Kev. Enjoy the games today. Peace.